Also, as if I needed one more thing to go wrong, my kayak is actively sinking. So I was gonna do just a regular egg sandwich today, but I forgot I had this leftover kind of remainder of an omelet that I got the other day. So instead of cooking new eggs, I'm just gonna turn this into a new egg sandwich. And if you've been watching my videos, you'd know that it's been super hot out. Camping out here in the desert for the last few days, so I've been using my portable AC to keep me cool at night, just leaving it on all night and not worrying about the power. And last night, I did actually finally end up running out of power, so it never focuses on this little thing. You can never read it on camera, but we're basically at zero. We have maybe 15 amps out of 300 that I've generated back this morning while the sun's been up. But my AC turned off around 6 a.m. this morning. But luckily it's a cooler morning, so it's not too bad. And also, if you watched my last video, we made some fresh pineapple salsa. I'll throw some leftovers of this on there. One thing that I did forget to get though is some coffee, which I'm kind of upset about. I did get though this Oreo flavored Coke yesterday and was honestly very surprised with how much it tasted like Oreo and that it wasn't actually that bad. I mean, it definitely wasn't like the best thing I've ever had, but it's not necessarily something that I would go out of my way to get again. Beautiful looking breakfast sandwich, look at that. But yeah, honestly spent most of the day yesterday just getting chores and stuff done, so by the end of the day I was pretty tired, which is how we ended up sleeping here at this, I don't even know, dirt pull out on the side of the road. There's not really much here. Some power lines, road out there. I don't know where any of these roads lead, probably just more ATV trails or something, but I think tonight we're gonna try to escape this heat, and I think I found a spot in the mountains. I don't know actually, because there's no town nearby to really tell what the weather's gonna be like up there, but there is a lake up there, so I'm hoping I can drive up there and take my boat out that I have in the back of the van, catch some crappie and do a little catch and cook for dinner tonight. And honestly, this whole fishing slash catching and cooking thing is a bit new for me, so I had a ton of questions when I was kind of doing the research last night, trying to figure out the best way to catch the fish, dispatch the fish, and then fillet the fish, and everything else that goes into catching and cooking. So since I had those questions, I'm assuming maybe other people would also have those questions. So I'm gonna do my best as we go through the rest of the day to explain kind of what I'm doing and why I'm doing it. But that is if I catch a fish, because with my track record, if you've watched this channel, I've gone fishing a lot, haven't caught many fish. I've been fishing for about 45 minutes, had no luck whatsoever. I've been fishing for about 4 hours, nothing but bites. Fishing when exactly as it usually does. Didn't catch anything. It's a very real possibility that I won't. Also, this is only the second or maybe the third time that my battery bank has drained down to zero. And the good thing about lithium batteries is there's no real risk of running them down to zero. Like other types of batteries that if you drain down to 50%, it can mess them up, whatever. You don't have to worry about lithium. You can drain them all the way back down to zero and then they just charge right back up. But for anyone who is thinking about building a van, that's a good perspective. I have 300 amp hours of lithium battery. And if you've watched my channel, you know I use a ton of it for gaming, charging my laptops, using my IC all night. So that's a little bit of perspective. I've only drained them to zero twice in 2.5 years. So that can be your real world gauge for how much power you have. But let's get out of here. I want to make a trip into town to a tackle shop, see if I can get some advice and some more tackle before we drive all the way out to this lake in the middle of nowhere. Excuse me? Yes, sir. So if I'm going out to fish crappie, do you have any recommendations? All right, so we're gonna grab a few of these here and then maybe some stuff for bass, just in case we can't catch a crappie. Thank you very much. Have a good one. I'm okay, thank you. Hopefully we're good to go. Got some lures, got some bait. Went shopping yesterday and got a few other things, but hopefully that means we're ready to catch fish. And I think before we head out there, I want to make one stop here in town. Stop by and show you guys something that I think was pretty cool that I didn't know was here. So this right here is what I wanted to show you guys. This bridge crossing over a part of Lake Havasu. All these fancy light posts on it, because it's actually the London Bridge from London. Not just a replica, but the actual London Bridge. kind of. And in order to understand what I mean by this is kind of the actual London Bridge, we have to go back in time to the 1830s when the London Bridge was actually built, or I guess I should say the second London Bridge was actually built, because this one replaced the old one that was built back in the 12th century to replace all the wooden bridges. And this bridge stood in London over the River Thames until around 1960, when the weight of modern cars kind of caused the bridge to start sinking down into the river. So they needed to build a new one, which just so happened to coincide with Robert McCullough, who was the founder of Lake Havasu City, buying a 19-acre parcel of land somewhere on the east side of this lake, kind of trying to spur interest in the town and make it more of a touristy destination. And somehow he landed on buying the London Bridge for $2.5 million, having it disassembled and shipped here piece by piece to install at Lake Havasu. But the reason that I say it's only kind of the London Bridge is because all of the support columns and the internal structures are all new. The only thing that's from the actual original London Bridge is the stone exterior, so at least this one's not sinking. So all of this kind of granite stonework you see on the exterior is all part of the original London Bridge. Also, when he purchased this bridge, it came with these ornate lampposts that are made from melted out cannonballs that were captured by the British from Napoleon's army after the Battle of Waterloo in 1815. But honestly, the most fascinating piece to me is that this wasn't even water when he decided to purchase the bridge. There was nowhere on Lake Havasu that needed a bridge. So how he came across the idea to purchase a bridge, dredged this entire thing, and then build this. Just very interesting. But anyways, got about a 3-hour drive to this lake we're going to hopefully do a catch and cook. It is kind of windy out today, which worries me about taking my kayak out, but I'm hopeful we'll be able to catch a fish. I think we have made it to where we pull off the paved road. Start heading into the desert. Still got about 10 miles down this until we get to the lake. I don't know if you can see it way off in the distance over there. That's where we're heading to camp tonight. I was driving down this road and I was thinking about how nice this road is. Now I know why. It's being graded right now. No sand pockets, no real big rocks. Good day. So we've made it down here. Now we're just gonna choose which direction we want to go, left or right. I think both lead down to the lake, but I'm gonna go right for now. I mean, look at this spot though. This is stunning. Oh, looks like a little bit of a sketchy road, not gonna lie. Ooh, this road gets skinny right here. We've got a big old van. Oh, look at that. I don't really think it gets much better than this in terms of campsites, especially free ones. Come on. Nobody else around, in the middle of nowhere. Nothing on this lake but me, my fishing rods, and hopefully dinner. I also did think it was gonna be a little bit cooler here, but it's not. It's actually hotter. And we are at no higher of an elevation, so definitely be using my AC tonight if I have enough power. And luckily, since we're pretty low on power still, I have something that'll let me run my AC all night, even without my van power. And that is this Ampace power station. So shout out to them for sponsoring this video, allowing me to be comfortable out here in the heat. So it's always great to have something like this as a nice backup for when the power in my van goes out and I need to use something, or I'm outside, or for any other reason I need additional portable power. This thing is great for that. And for right now, I'm gonna get my Starlink hooked up to it because I have no service out here. So this power station is the Andes 1500 portable power station from Ampace, and it has got some crazy power. It's got 13 output ports from USB-A to USB-C to car sockets to DC outputs. It allows up to 600 watts of solar input. You can charge it from your car. It's got an AC inverter, which is what my Starlink is gonna be plugged into. It's got 4 AC ports back here. And that's a 2400 watt inverter with boost up to 3600 with 1462 watt hours of capacity. So let's get this plugged in, turned on, and get connected back to the world. And the good thing about being out here in the desert is there's no trees or really anything to block the signal, so it should be pretty good. But yeah, also with this Ampace, they're offering a $400 discount with an additional $100 coupon for anyone that signs up for the newsletter. So that's $500 in discount in total on the Andes 1500. So if something like that interests you, head over to their website at ampacepower.com and use the link in my description to get these exclusive discounts, and they won't last. So If you want something like this, make sure you hurry up. Also, for anyone curious about Starlink speeds, getting 156 megabits per second download, pretty good upload too. 24 megabits per second, not bad. But I'm gonna get all of my fishing gear that I bought for out here all set up, ready to go. We're going fishing. I almost got myself all set up, ready to go, got all my lures done, and then I tried to reel it in just to get my line taut, and there's no reel. Well, there is a reel, but there's no, whatever you call this thing. I don't know if that's normal for that to be missing or if someone stole it, but either way, I didn't realize it till I got out here and I had the whole thing set up. Can't really fish without your little handle, so I had to go out and get a new fishing rod from the ranger station. There we go. Working fishing rod. I'm gonna get this boat out and set up, but I'm not gonna take it out right away. I'm gonna do a little bit of shore fishing here in this little cove. If I don't catch anything, take the boat up for sunset. There you have it. Inflatable fishing kayak. This wind is ridiculous. It's blowing over everything. Table blew over, broke, chair. I'm giving up on it. He can lay on his side. It's time to finally test out some of these lures. So I ended up staying on the shore for about an hour and a half trying to fish, trying to catch something. Didn't really get lucky with anything, and then it was just way too windy outside to end up taking the boat out. It is so windy out. Barely cast. There was actually whitecaps on the lake, and I probably just would have got blown everywhere and not been able to fish anyway, so I decided to stay on shore all night. And I did actually end up catching this one bass, but it wasn't the fish we were looking for, so I just kind of threw him back, let him live the rest of his life. And I think while I was out there fishing, I noticed myself getting upset because I wasn't catching anything, and I think sometimes I get so fixated on the end goal of, in this case, catching the fish, that I forget to enjoy the journey of getting there. It's kind of like climbing a mountain, but instead of noticing the crisp air, the view, the sense of progress with each step, all you can think about is reaching the summit. And when you do that, you kind of rob yourself of the actual experience, I think. And I feel like the more I try to force things to go exactly how I imagined them, the more I lose the joy that inspired me to start. And I feel like pressure can make you forget why you love the process. And don't get me wrong, the goal is important for sure, but the process is where you grow and where you really live. I guess you kind of have to let go of that pressure and remind yourself to find fun in the pursuit itself. The end result will come in its own time, but how you get there, that's what really matters. And this isn't just about fishing, but kind of with everything in my life. I put so much pressure on kind of where I want to be or catching that fish that I just lose the enjoyment in things sometimes. And at the end of the day, it's just never really that serious. But after fishing, just kind of enjoyed the rest of the night, and then made this kind of taco bowl with a bunch of the leftovers that I had in the van from what I cooked the other night, and then put some salsa on top of it, and it was kind of just enjoyed that, and then it's time to go to bed and start all over the next day. Beautiful looking breakfast sandwich and a beautiful view to enjoy it with. No fish yesterday, or at least any fish that I wanted. I did catch a bass, but the wind was just absolutely brutal. Probably would have blown me clear across the lake if I tried to take my kayak out, so I was kind of reserved to fish in this cove back here because it was the only place that was sheltered from the wind. But today, we got a beautiful day, no wind. Take the kayak out. I went back to the ranger station this morning, picked up some live minnows to hopefully give me a better chance. We've got a full day today, so hopefully get out there and get a fish. Everything's all packed up, ready to go. Let's get out there. All right, so I just pulled the boat in. I've been fishing for about an hour. Got a few bites, but nothing caught. So I'm coming back to shore. I'm gonna try something different with a little bit of a different rig setup. So I've got my crappie jig, and then I'm gonna put a float bobber up there and just let it sit out there. See if we can get lucky that way. I also might throw one of these minnows on it too. Alright, so I've been fishing for a few hours, kind of hitting structures like this in these little coves. I haven't been getting much of bites. I think I'm gonna go upwind and kind of just float back down on the coast, throwing casts along the way and see if we can catch something. Got one. We got one, boys. Oh, it got off. No. We had one though. Wind is really picking up. It's pushing me so far. Wish I had a wind drag or an anchor or something. Also, as if I needed one more thing to go wrong, my kayak is actively sinking. There's a hole in it and I don't have a plug kit.
Who let the dogs out?
Really not having any luck today. I've tried deeper waters, I've tried shallower waters, I've tried jigs, I've tried minnows, I've tried everything. Just can't get a bite on anything. Try a little bit of shore fishing from this little island next to my campsite. Alright, so I don't know if I'm just allergic to fish as a human, or I just go to too many different lakes trying to fish too many different fish all the time, so I never really get good at one specific type of fishing. But I just have not had this year any luck with doing catch and cook videos. Got the bobber in the water now, seeing if that makes any kind of difference. I've tried pretty much every lure and every type of fishing you can do to catch a crappie. Nothing's worked, but it is a beautiful day out. A lot less windy than yesterday. Still a little bit annoying in the kayak. Since it's inflated, I'm just getting pushed everywhere, even at the slightest wind. So it is kind of hard to stay in one spot to kind of go for the fish. But I think once I get off this island here, I'm gonna head back out in the kayak for another hour or so until sunsets. Hopefully catch something. And if not, I have to figure out what I'm making for dinner. And the wind is actually starting to die down pretty good right now. Might mean for a little bit better fishing in the kayak, hopefully. But I guess anything is better than what we've been doing. Honestly, can't even be too upset if I don't catch a fish. Beautiful spot. And we're back. No fish. Do a little bit of shore fishing to cap off at night. I don't know. Fished for maybe 8 hours today. Non-stop. Kayak, no kayak. Every lure I had in every location I could think of. So I think my last ditch effort from the shore here is going to be one of these rooster tails. They just kind of look like that with a little spinner on them. Cast this out a few times from a few different spots with our remaining maybe 20 minutes of sunlight. See if we can get lucky. I have been watching other fishermen today, and 90% of them have been on the opposite bank. So I'm thinking maybe that's the better spot to fish, like on the opposite side of the lake, but who knows? I also feel like I'm so quick to kind of let this stuff get to me, and like I go out to do something and it just doesn't work out. Everything that can go wrong does go wrong. I don't know, I feel like today I tried not to let it get to me and just kind of enjoyed being out here fishing, having a good time, and just not put so much pressure on myself to make this video happen in the way that I wanted to and the way that I saw it in my head. But I will successfully catch and cook a fish one of these days. Just maybe not today. Slowly running out of sun. But yeah, I think that's a wrap. I did at least catch one fish, a little bass yesterday, but that's not really what we were looking for. I also really hope this water is swimmable, because yesterday I took a kind of a bath in it. And by bath, I mean rinsed off in it. And I'm gonna do the same again tonight, I think, before we go back to the van, because I was sweating all day. I think I might make some pho. Dude, I'm starving and I didn't catch dinner. And if you're ever looking for a good instant pho, this is the best brand that I've ever tried. And I don't have my electric kettle with me, so do this the old-fashioned way. Good old boiled water. All right, while I wait for that to boil, I'm gonna go in for just like a quick dip, rinse off. Hopefully it's boiling by the time I get back. Oh. Wow. It's a lot colder out here when you're wet. Is the water boiling? Yes, it is. Go ahead and turn that off. Woo. We'll let that sit for like, I don't know, like 5 minutes. And just a touch of that spicy sauce, not too much. Oh my God, look at the clouds. It's like there's like a afterglow of the sunset, like from here up. Looks cool. Also, I recently had the idea, I don't know if this is already, actually I haven't done any research on it, but like a pho tea. Like if I could make a tea of just the broth, if it tastes good enough, I think I would drink that almost every night. Also, I'm heading to Japan pretty soon. If you got any recommendations for things I should do or places I should go on there, leave them in the comments below. But I think with that is a wrap on yet another failed catch and cook. We'll get them eventually. But anyways, as always, truly appreciate you guys watching. If you haven't already, think about clicking that subscribe button, only if you like my channel. If you don't really have to. But I will leave you guys with a video of the sunset, and I will catch you guys next time.